We are into April now, and we are beginning to see a busier market. It is the season, it's spring. We have buyers that are jumping into the market, taking advantage of the pre-interest rate cuts to avoid any sort of price hikes and multiple bids. Other buyers are still standing on the sideline to see what would happen. Sellers are very observant, trying to take advantage of the best time to list. And when will the Bank of Canada drop the rates? We'll talk about an approximate timeline for you and what the outcome will be, whether they keep the rates as is or if they're to drop the rates. So make sure to watch this episode of Ottawa Real Estate Buzz to the very end. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to click that bell icon so you'll get notifications as soon as we make posts. So let's get going. When will the Bank of Canada drop the rates? And that's speculation that everybody's talking about. Lots of clients that I come across with, that's the first question they ask, because really a lot of people are in hardship, and specifically if you're on variable rates, it's very difficult to handle because of the repeated increases in the previous year. And from the talks and the discussions and all the economic predictions, it seems that right around the end of June, July, we'll see the first cut. Of course, Bank of Canada is very cautious. Employment is one thing they're keeping an eye on. Again, inflation is something else. And at the same time, they're really relying on what our neighbors down south are doing with their rates. And once they do drop, I feel they'll be more confident to drop the rates here. Perhaps we'll need more of a drop in Canada based on our economic growth and so on. But that remains to be seen in terms of how much. I predict perhaps the initial drop will be about quarter point, and then as we go along, pending on the movement of the economy, the inflation, employment, as well as the housing activity, then they'll assess to see how much further they're willing to drop. But it's inevitable. Historically, variable rates has always been below fixed rates, otherwise nobody would get variable rates. And considering that the fixed rates are hovering around 5.5%, 5.5-ish at the moment, that's bound to set the variables to below that point. So there may be a time about a year and a half from now where may see the fixed rates hovering around 4%, and the variables being below that point. So it's really a guessing game at the moment. Even I feel the Bank of Canada is unsure and cautious, and they're just waiting to see what would happen with the US situation, and then they'll pretty much go ahead and make a decision. What's the outcome for buyers who are waiting on the sideline? It's inevitable. I feel if the rates are going to drop, there will be a hike in prices. Perhaps not the insanity we saw a few years back post-COVID, but it will provide more confidence for a lot of buyers. They will enter the market, and then the inventory will be impacted. The average price will be impacted, and the average price is climbing slowly. And we'll take a look at all the stats within the previous month of March shortly. And buyers who are taking on the risk now, I think they will benefit down the line, because yes, there are risks now, there are higher interest rates now that they're committing to, but then it's worth not going through bidding wars, not going through price hikes, and pretty much being pushed out of certain price brackets in terms of affordability. And for sellers, it's an adjusting period, and the impact of the lower rates, we will not know how much and how long it will take for that to take effect and impact the housing prices. It may be towards the end of summer, early fall, considering that the movement will be gradual. So that's my opinion on that, and I'll keep you updated as we go along in the coming weeks. We'll take a look at the recent activity within the residential, condominium, and rental markets. And first, we'll focus on the residential freeholds for the month of March. Looking at the new listings for 2024, we had 1,707 units, and that's an increase of 11.4% compared to the previous year where we had 1,532 units. Active listings in total, we have 2,117 active listings, and 2023 it was 1,702 units. That's an increase of 24.4%. So yes, we have more inventory now. Take a look at the sales activity. It's higher than last year by 8%, 950 units in 2024 March, versus last year 880 units. List to sale ratio, we're at almost asking. And previous year it was 98.5%, so very similar. Now, this is important. Looking at the average price, March 2024, we're at 733,000 approximately, whereas it was 701,000 the previous year. So that's an increase of 4.6%. So slowly the prices are going up, considering that the rates are being kept the way they are. Now, if they start cutting rates, it'll be interesting to see the outcome. Looking at the total cumulative days on the market for 2024, 43 days, and for 2023, we have 47 days. So that's a drop of 8.5%. Not a lot of concern on that end. Looking at the condominiums for the month of March, new listings for 2024, 347 units. That's an increase of 20% over the previous year, which was 289 units. Total active listings for the month of March, 469 units, and that's up 15.8%. So compared to last year, 405 units. So we are up in inventory again with condominiums as well. Sales activity, 194 this year, and 185 the previous year. So up 4.9%. So very close. They're following each other, the condo and the residential markets, and keeping steady. List to sale ratio, 98.4%, and similar last year. So homes are selling close to asking. Now, looking at the average price for the condominiums, 451,000 approximately for 2024 month of March. That's up 8.4%, and the previous year we had 416,000 approximately. And the days on the market cumulative, we're at 56 days for 2024 and 59 days for 2023. That's a drop of 5.1%. So the number of days slightly adjusted, but the overall, looking at the market, we are seeing up and up movement on the activity as well as the pricing. So it's an adjusting period, I feel. Looking at the rental market for the month of March 2024, active listings, we had 533 units. That's a drop of 4% compared to last year, which was 556 for 2023. And the sales, so the rented units, we had 449 units rented, and that's a drop of 20% compared to the previous year, which was 564. So perhaps now would be the best time to secure a rental unit, because if we see a drop in interest rates and a movement in the residential and the condominium categories, that will put a pressure on affordability. Hence, the impact will shift, and the wave will get to the rentals, and we are seeing this still with high inventories for all three categories. We are still seeing the price climbing, although there are more units in the market. And look at the average rental for 2024 March, we're at $2,795 per month, and that's an increase of 8.33% compared to previous year, where the average rental amount was $2,580 per month. And the cumulative total days on the market for 2024, 29 days and 30 days for the previous year. So not a lot of change as far as the number of days go. I'm not worried about that at all, but we do have more inventory for buyers. I think that's key to take advantage of this, to get into the market. And for sellers who do need to sell, I feel if you have that time to hold your property in the market, and if your property does not need much work, or if you're willing to fix it up a bit to make it presentable, I think still is a good time. And in the coming months, there'll be more advantageous for you to perhaps get a better return on the sale. But it all really goes back to Bank of Canada, and we cannot predict the future, unfortunately, and we just have to go with the flow. But I will keep you informed all the time. So please remember to reach out to me anytime by phone, text, email, and I'd love to sit down over a cup of coffee to discuss the housing activity. So until the next episode, take care.